everybody, and welcome to this Phi Campus Jam Sessions podcast being broadcast live from Phi Campus 2025. Thank you, everybody. I'm very grateful for the applause and the enthusiasm. So I'm also very pleased to welcome and introduce an all-star cast of financial instrument experts who've been with us on this journey. We have Cecilia Gyalog, who's the head of EU Strategy and International Relations at MFB in Hungary. Hi, Cecilia. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Inga Beiliūnienė, you've met her already from ILTA. She's the head of international relations at the National Promotional Bank in Lithuania. Welcome.
Hi.
On my right, Eva Petkova, the Director of Urban Development Funds Department in the Fund for Sustainable Urban Development and Fund Flag in Bulgaria. And then at the end we have Grzegorz Orawiec, who's the Director in the Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy in Poland. Welcome. I can put my paper down now because I've done the names. So thank you, everybody, for coming today. I think we want to spend this time reflecting on what we've heard over the last 2 days. It's been mentioned once or twice, but I'll just say it one more time. This is the 10th anniversary of Phi Campus, and I think we spent the first day looking back at what we have achieved, perhaps over those years, and then today we've been more about looking forward. So we want to do a similar structure for today's session. But firstly, we've just seen the Showcase Awards. We've had 3 projects that have just been given the prizes, so maybe we can just say something about that. I'll turn to Eva first, because she was one of the winners, the Urban Development Fund in Bulgaria. So your thoughts about that?
We are, in fact, winning for the 3rd time this award, and I'm very, very happy and delighted with our colleagues that took part in the pitching session, and it was fantastic success. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, Eva. Yeah, and well done, and congratulations. It's not the first time you've won either, I think. It's good to see urban development being recognised. Maybe, Inga, I'll ask you about the Social Impact Fund in Rotterdam, because I know you've done social impact, I think, in the past in Lithuania, so perhaps you say a few words about that.
Actually, it was one of my favorites, to be frank. Although I voted for another one. I voted for cultural heritage, but Netherlands' case was the favorite because it's actually a social impact. And I was speaking about social impact yesterday. So this is, our story, which is a kind of reflected in Netherlands. So it's very, very good story and good case.
Yeah, it's nice to see it recognised, and it's surprising for me is how often social impact is mentioned now in the context of financial instruments. It's definitely an area where it's having impact, and I'm sure that's going to grow in the future. And maybe, Cecilia, you were an unlucky loser, I'm afraid, because there was a nice innovation example given from Hungary, which was really good. But it was the Portuguese, the Bank Formentos. But maybe you can say a little bit about innovation and that submission.
Yeah, I think the Portuguese was also an example of a very smart, innovative support SIM. So we very much like that project also. I must be not biased with the Hungarian one, but let me mention 2 others. The one is the Beiliūnienė. I'm sure I did not pronounce it well, but still I think that's something symbol of a simple but very smart support scheme. It's targeted, as far as I understood, through the eligibility criteria, but it's very simple for the final beneficiaries. I'm really very glad that I could hear it. And the other one is the Urban Development Fund from Bulgaria for the cultural heritage. And what struck me really is that they managed to include 40%, that's 40% of private funding for cultural heritage projects. I think it's amusing. So congratulations.
Indeed, thank you, Cecilia. And it's nice to see urban development coming up the agenda. And there's a number of urban development financial instruments in Poland as well, Grzegorz. It's an important type of operation in Poland, I think, as well, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for this invitation. It's happy to be here and look in different categories and winners. Always I have to say that innovations are close to my heart, so when I heard in this category, I keep my fingers crossed for everybody. And I'm happy that we can see such a project develop with the colleagues from DG Regio, because I'm sure that it needs just collaboration. It needs this formula that, because we sometimes think in a tricky way, that innovation means or needs grants. No, innovation means really good support and complex support. That's why great to hear about these products, that it's in this category.
No, you're absolutely right. So thank you. And maybe if I can just add my congratulations to all 13 people who came up and pitched yesterday. It was so impressive. And very well done to you all. Definitely some new faces. One of the things for us at Feed Compass is identifying these success stories and these stories that we can highlight through our deliverables, and so many good ideas yesterday. So it was really great. Thank you very much. Right, okay, so now let's move to the next topic, which is sort of looking back at Feed Compass and how it has helped us over the last 10 years. I think we've heard some good examples yesterday, but maybe some more personal stories from the panel now, how you've used your Feed Compass deliverables. So perhaps, Eva, maybe you could tell us, which of the Feed Compass deliverables have helped you in the past?
For my colleagues, for our team, for the Fund of Funds, I believe the publication were the most invaluable tools by the Feed Campus. Especially those that were developed for a single operation combination. These for energy efficiency, under repower, and for European Bauhaus. Both were an inspiration for the new urban development funds that were structured 21-27 period. They offered quite clear structuring logic and implementation pathways that allowed us to tailor-made for our growing needs. On my personal part, I'm really delighted with the Feed Compass community. And it is a moment of 10 years anniversary, but I have really found here a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues with whom we've shared common problems, but also we have found common solutions to these problems. And the participation in the knowledge hubs, in the energy efficiency scale-up initiative were really invaluable for me and for my personal growth and for the growth of our funds, because I'm sharing all what I have learned with my colleagues. And this is really the power of Feed Compass community.
Yeah, no, it's a great network, isn't it? And I'm glad you like the publications, because it's such an effort really made by both my colleagues in EIB, but also the team of the European Commission to produce those documents and get them right, get input from other parts of the Commission like DG Comp, who are always very cooperative. So it's good that they're useful. I think people really do go the extra mile to make them helpful in that respect. Maybe Inga, I'll turn to you now, and maybe you can tell us a story.
I have two favorites, actually. The first one is knowledge hubs. I had an honor to participate in them, and my colleagues also participate. And actually, when you see the rules and regulations written in simpler words with a lot of examples, it's very, very useful. And I was reading them many times, and I was even using them for trainings on financial instruments. What does it mean? So when I was explaining specific regulations, rules, etc. So this is a very, very useful tool which has to move forward. Another topic which actually I like very much, not a topic, but the situation or idea, or actually it's not a presentations on the screen. Mm-hmm. It's actually the talks during the coffee breaks, during the lunch break, or during the dinner, when you can speak to the practitioners, when you can learn from them and to understand all the details. Because you know the proverb, but devil is in the details. So actually you must understand them. And it's a very, very useful tool.
And it's great that people make themselves available and we can have those conversations afterwards, isn't it? It's a really good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels more and more like a reunion these days, picking up on what you're saying. Maybe we should have an event without presentations and just have
talks.
just have talk
coffee,
and food and
coffee,
things.
food and wine, as Frank.
Be a nice thing. Cecilia, what's your...
I think firstly I would also mention this remarkable live network of professionals who are extremely experienced and very innovative. That's the first one. I would choose the second one, the thematic workshops. I think these allow us to get those nitty-gritties of some special issues on financial instruments. These are very useful, I guess, in the audit operation. As a third one, I would mention one personal experience. That was a few years ago at a FI campus when the auditors first time came to the stage and explained us their views on the implementation side. And I think it was very instructive for the audit operation.
No, indeed, yeah. The audit team at the European Commission have been very open and helpful with us over the years. We did a really good knowledge hub on that as well, didn't we? So, yeah, no, it's definitely a really good thing. No, thank you. Grzegorz, you've seen this from both sides, we should say, as well, shouldn't we? Because you did spend some time in the Commission. So, yeah, what are your takeaways?
Yeah, that's why it's challenging to me when I compare this, but my favorite one is the case studies. Because for me, the story of FI Campus, it's the story of real case study, as you presented here, your projects. And everything what we do, what we plan as, let's say, policymakers, managing authorities, however, at the end and at the beginning should be case studies. Mm-hmm. So when I look at this, when I compare from different ERDF, ESF, Rural Development Fund, I always think, oh, it's possible. They did it in some country region. So how to do it? It's for me like a bottom-up approach when I feel inspired on this. So it's great to hear and see this. I call this like a cross-inspiration, that we can inspire together as the managing authority, as the operators at the regional level when we see these case studies. And then I think that we believe that we can break some barriers, because somebody says at the beginning, no, it's impossible. Yes, it's possible, because somebody already did it in some countries. So for me, it's great. And the second that you mentioned about great community, about this inspiration during each coffee break, each lunchtime. However, maybe this very innovative proposal next year should be only such an open meeting in official, and we can try what about the results. Even during the last break, my colleague Andrzej just inspired me talking about this, that what we miss. Maybe we miss, for instance, that we need more newcomers to our family of financial instruments that will be supporters, will be ambassadors of this instrument. So each such talks meeting is very inspiring.
I think that's right, no, and the point about the newcomers is great, and I think to some extent those pitches were an example maybe of some of the real rising stars maybe of the thing, and we need to capture those and do more. So yeah, no, thank you for that, and that was really helpful. Okay, I'm going to now take a chance, and I'm going to go and ask the audience whether anybody out there would like to share a story or an example of how they've used a FI Compass deliverable. There's no obligation if you don't, but if anybody does have anything they want to share on the podcast, then raise your hand and we can get a microphone to you. I'm looking around and everybody's watching me very interestedly, but doesn't look like they want to share anything at this stage. It's fine. No. I'll do Anna's thing. 3, 2, 1. No. Fine. No problem. We'll move on. We'll move forward, and let's talk now about what lies ahead, both in the, I suppose, the long term, because we've been talking a bit about the next MFF and all of that, but also maybe the shorter term as well, because I think you're all in implementation mode, aren't you, for the current programming period? These instruments are often only just getting underway. So maybe you can share with us some of your plans, what you expect to achieve, and what your hopes are for the future. Grzegorz, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, thank you very much. In Poland, I think that we just now have this, let's say, big question mark how to redesign the system of support for innovative economy and for competitiveness, because I think that more of member states know it, that at the beginning we always think about grants, classical support, but now we want to definitely concentrate more on financial instrument and only leave the space for the highest innovations for this breaking through solution as the grants or really added value, and just not to say in negative way, but in classical way, typical development and competitiveness should be supported by financial instruments. So we try to redesign now the system. We propose in our programs new tools, like for instance, green and digital financial instruments or other aspects like this. And I hope that, let's say, market will be interested in this. So this is our main challenge, to build a really system for many, many years. Mm-hmm. It should be not only, of course, spending, not only investing, it should be really very wise, long-term reinvesting this capital. And we work just now on this, and I hope that we then make really stable system, because as you mentioned, sometimes now it's living from one perspective to the another and question mark what will be next. But for us, this financial instrument should be just natural transmission between them and making these stable connections. So I hope that maybe we can present in next campus some solution on this. But now Poland is, let's say, quite a big country, so also the challenge is how to combine it together as the national level and 16 regions. And we have at least 17 managing authority in the system. So it's great in competitiveness, but on the other hand, we try to make good coordination.
No, indeed. You mentioned case studies earlier, and we did a great case study on the Business Max instrument a few years ago, and one of its priorities is innovation, which of course we've been talking about. You mentioned that. I mean, how is that going now? Is that growing further? How's Business Max?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's great that you mentioned this. We are happy that the Business Max is really growing. We plan to allocate another amount of money from program to this system, and generally guarantee funds are very, very well developing in Poland. And I can say maybe a little bit going ahead in our plans in Poland, and even from Polish RRF, we plan to make some movements through InvestEU and prepare another guarantee system for SMEs. So for us, it's, I think, a really good success story, and I hope we develop this because market is really interested. They need just stable and clear rules for financing. Maybe nothing special, but it's still this basic. Give us the clear rules and we apply. So in Poland, we can confirm that it's working.
Yeah, great. No, thank you. Eva, maybe I'll come to you next. Maybe you can outline, what happens next for the award-winning Urban Development Fund in Bulgaria.
In 2026, we are starting, in fact, the implementation of 3, I believe, financial instruments. Fund Flag was awarded the financial instrument in the water sector, so it's the most imminent one. It's a risk-sharing, relatively small instrument, but we have a quite strong pipeline, and we will do our best to perform it in a very good way in the next year. We have also, under the framework of Sustainable Cities Fund, take part in the procurement procedure organized by the Fund of Funds, and have been awarded a guarantee financial instrument with combination of support in one operation for a circular economy and energy efficiency of SMEs. And it's quite a big one, 300 million euro. And we will deliver it, I believe, in the first quarter of next year. So it is a very challenging one, but we are working very closely with our partners from United Bulgarian Bank, and we believe it will be a very attractive instrument for the SMEs. And last but not least, of course, the urban development funds. This procedure, this time, took a lot of time, and we have been selected to manage the 2 urban development funds covering the whole Bulgaria this time, but still there are ongoing proceedings, legal proceedings, so we are waiting for the final award, but we are ready to start with a very viable pipeline of projects.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, no, thank you. And maybe I should say we haven't scripted this, by the way. I said we would do this to keep it. So, but one of the things that you did, which goes back to maybe a session earlier today, is in Fund Flag. You also have the benefit of an EIB loan as well, don't you?
Yes.
And you use that alongside your urban development funds. Do you want
Yes.
to maybe describe how you do that briefly?
Yes, it's called the Bulgarian Investment and Coordination Platform. It was set up in 2020 as a complementary mechanism to the urban development funds. And back then we have concluded the first contract with the EIB, and it was a blast. A lot of municipalities applied, and for less than a year we have engaged all the available resource. So we have concluded a second finance contract, and we are still in process of utilization because a lot of grant money have been poured out in the last couple of years, but we are still going strong with the platform.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Cecilia, I'll turn to you now. Hungary, like Poland, in fact, two of the largest users of financial instruments in the EU. So what are your plans for the near and the further future?
So first of all, of course, we have to implement those that are under this programming period. We already have 7 loan programs, which are already on the market. We will shortly start with the venture capital programs. And we are targeting, again, many fields such as SME development, energy efficiency, renewable energy, digitalization. We are doing 3 types of combination in one operation, so targeting different types of final beneficiaries. And we allocated, again, more than 2 billion euros to financial instruments. So we are trying our best to secure the 29 deadline.
Great. Oh, thank you. And Inga, what are your plans?
So actually to implement what we launched already several years ago, because, you know, we are not planning to launch new instruments next year from using structural funds or EU funding, you know. We have quite a variety of instruments. Some of them are implemented directly by us. In this case, we are talking about direct loans for digitalization of industrial companies or innovation in business. In some cases, we have instruments which are implemented by financial intermediaries, and in this case, I'm talking about equity funds. We also have instruments which we launched in the agriculture sector, energy efficiency, renewable energy, energy efficiency in public infrastructure and public sector. So actually, we have to deal with this, and we have to show the results, and some of them are showing really good results, and it's a blast, a kind of really success. In some cases, we have to do much more in publicity, just to sell those instruments because they are quite new, especially, for example, in R&D, when we are providing direct loans for R&D projects, which is very, very new. And you know, in this case, we wanted to switch from grants, which is very, very often used for R&D projects, to to lending activity, and this the clients have to understand it and have to finally decide that, okay, I am not going for a grant, but I'm going for a loan, which is a repayable, you know, financing. We have already results showing that the clients, they are adopting to this, and they are understanding that the loan is not something which is scary. So they are coming to us, and we have an increasing results. But of course, we would like to show to see better uptake. But you know, it takes time.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And we presented an innovation and housing models earlier today, and in both of those, people talked about changing the mindset and the need to change the mindset. And I think that's sometimes with our senior decision makers, but it's also with the market, isn't it? It's also with the potential final recipients who are maybe accustomed to receiving grants, and changing the mindset amongst that community in terms of what the benefits of.
Yeah, you have to show. Yeah, you have to show candies. We call it candies or carrots. You know, but actually,
candy's better than carrots.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't go far for a carrot, will you? Really?
If you are a rabbit, you will go for carrots.
Okay. Rabbit funding.
But you have to put some some candies, and the candies are the grants.
Yes, indeed.
So actually in this R&D type of loans, we have very, very favorable interest rates. For the first 3 years, they are 0. The interest rate is 0 actually. For the rest of the loan duration of a term, it's 2%. So, you know, and if you achieve results or KPIs you agreed with us, it's a direct lending instrument. You can receive a capital rebate. So it's fantastic, fantastic conditions. And we, you know, and when the companies start to realize that these conditions are very, very good, they are coming. So we are seeing the increase, step-by-step increase in the results, and we are happy about that. But it takes time.
Yeah.
You know, and with the programming periods, we have a limitation. We have an end of eligibility period, which is kind of tricky in case of pilot financial instruments, which are sold during several years. It's not possible to sell everything, to sell the loans in 1 year with a pilot instruments. So, you know, this end of eligibility periods, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have to do something. Otherwise, we will stick with the instruments which is nothing new, which no pilot, you know, in that. No.
Yeah, you almost have to act like an entrepreneur, don't you? And pivot if things aren't working.
Yes.
And we heard that yesterday about experience that, you know, people often have to review their financial instruments and repurpose them and target them slightly differently, and then suddenly they fly away and they have huge success. And I think that's definitely a theme that we've heard several times. I mean, Cecilia, I don't know, is that something that you've experienced in Hungary as well, in terms of that need for flexibility?
Yeah, I think we believe in the broader products, so the broader, the simpler is it to adapt to the market needs. And of course, we continuously modify it based on the inputs of the market or the demand side. And we try to keep it as flexible as possible. Yeah.
And I know we've heard several sessions about reflows and the use of reflows, which is something we don't really talk about a lot in Feed Compass. But I think, have we got a story about reflows you want to tell me? Grzegorz, you're smiling. You must have.
Yeah, exactly. You exactly catch me. I have one that I think it's really important. It's a little bit, let's say, personal to me and to my team. We are together with my team. Because reflows, as you mentioned, in our opinion, will be only increasing topic, because we hope to have more and more reflows. So it's first good information. But what I would like to share as some case study from Poland, and hopefully next year we can develop it. That when you look at these reflows from the point of managing authority, we decided to 1 year ago to let's say, design totally new instrument. We call this just Ukrainian loan, but in practice, it means the loan to the enterprises that operate in Poland and they would like to participate in rebuilding of Ukraine and building business relationship with Ukrainian partners. And it was really a huge challenge to us. We started from the ground zero 1 year ago. We said how to do it. But step-by-step diagnosis, some assessments, investment strategy, together with the Polish, of course, state-aid bank BGK. And we are happy now that we are operating this. We allocated 50 million euro for this, let's say, first round. There's a high interest of potential beneficiaries of companies. We are happy to offer them 2.5 million euro for 10 years loan, with very attractive conditions and with the just I think wide scope of support for the storage, logistic and equipment, machines for business contracts with Ukraine partners. And we were really afraid, to be honest, if anybody apply, because it was nothing at the market before it. And now we see that we are overbooking, so we plan, let's say, a second round probably. And this is this satisfaction when you mentioned reflows is a tool, but this real satisfaction that you really design something totally new, you take this risk, and at the end, I know that you all know this, you see it's working, you check and it's work. So we are happy about this, and reflows and financial instruments could be great tool for such a new approach, even cross-border, even international in this positive way, starting from regions or from the countries. So this is our Polish story about reflow that I hope we will develop.
Wow, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, there's always something surprising, but that's a great story, and what a great use of reflows. And it goes without saying that that would never have been imagined when the programming period, from where those resources came from. And it just shows the power of financial instruments and the importance. And congratulations, because I think that's a very creative use of.
It's for the team there.
Those resources. No, that's a great story. Okay, I'm going to have another go and see if anybody from the audience has any questions, because I'm an optimist. Anybody would like to ask a question to the panel from anything they've said or anything else? If not, I think we'll move to the... I see a hand over there.
Ștefan Ocheșu, South Muntenia Managing Authority, Romania. I have a question for all of you. Have you ever encountered a situation where you launch a call for expression for interest to select financial intermediary, but on the deadline nobody submits a proposal? And if yes, what have you done to tackle the situation, if had this situation?
Maybe, do you do calls for expression of interest?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
And we didn't have such situation. We always receive applications. Mm-hmm. It can be one application, or it can be several, or even more than 10. But what would you do? You have to relaunch it, but you have to talk to the... I don't know whether it was a real situation in your case, but when you are launching an instrument or preparing to launch an instrument, you have to talk to the market. You have to talk to the potential financial intermediaries. You have to understand their wishes and their demands and what they need. And your instrument should reflect the needs of the clients, of the final recipients, and also of the financial intermediaries. Otherwise, they won't come. So talk to them, listen, ask why they are not coming, and then relaunch it.
Yeah, I think somebody said yesterday, didn't they? Do something quickly and get started, and so maybe listen to the market and try and recast it and go out again. I think just keep going. I think is probably the best example. Great, Grzegorz?
Yeah, definitely. I can only agree and support to come back even to some assumptions, the starting point, what we're gonna to achieve, and as you mentioned, one point about the market expectation and this real demand, because it should be always demand oriented, not otherwise. But on the other hand, of course, probably I assume these parameters for operators, for intermediate bodies, because they are always interested. It's just a business about the conditions. So you have to look at this both sides and come back to the investment strategy and for sure relaunch. And I'm sure that at the end there will be interest in money, but not the conditions.
Yeah, no, thank you. We'll go to our final question then for the panel, which is just to tell us a story. Yeah, tell us something interesting that's happened to you in the world of financial instruments in the last 10 years. So maybe Cecilia, it's a tough challenge, but I'll pass it on to you first.
I think I would mention one product we implemented, and this was a COVID response loan product, single loan product. As we've just mentioned yesterday, the financial instruments proved to be an efficient tool to manage the downturn after the COVID crisis. And what we managed to do is to set up a small working capital loan program in 2 months. And it was basically a big success. We got more than 13,000 applications. It was not a big sum, but I think there is this saying that who gives fast, gives twice. And I think this was this example because we reached many service providers who would otherwise not survive the crisis. And there are many times, really in my private life, when I go to a service provider and there is this communication board on the wall, and they are asking, "What are you doing as a profession?" And I can just physically point out that.
Okay, really cool. Yeah, no, that's really nice. It's always nice to see the benefits of your thing. So, no, thank you for that. That's a really nice story. Maybe Eva, is there something that you're particularly proud of, or that you remember from your work?
I always recall my first participation in Phi Campus in 2018, when we have been invited together with the fund of funds and the other financial intermediary that was selected. But we both have implemented Jessica funds, and they were such a small pilot funds back then. And we were driven mainly by 5 to 10 people, which gave a lot of dedication, a lot of work. And since then, our team grew, our partnership strengthened. The scope of these instruments have grown tremendously. But what is still on my heart is that we are seeing the same spark in my colleagues, and that is driving us forward to make more and more. And I'm still finding this job very, very exciting and inspirational.
That's great. No, thank you. And yeah. And I think you reflect the passion for a lot of people out there in the room as well. I'm sure that resonates very much with them. Grzegorz.
Yeah, I also discovered, let's say, some years ago, that financial instrument means just passion. And at that time, I was working at the beneficiary side in one of the foundation. It was local foundation in Sandomierz. It's southeast Poland, and Sandomierz, great tourist destination. Just small advertisement, small Krakow, small Rome. You should visit. But what I was really impressed, this foundation applied to Swiss Contribution Fund. This is also this tool that you can get allocation for financial instrument, and based on this, they start to offer small or micro loans for local community. And I was so shocked in positive way that it's not about the money, the amount of money. It's exactly this about the passion, about this to be proud of the local tradition, some heritage, like they want to rebuild local vineyards, they want to promote local food, etc., etc. These local small entrepreneurs, I was shocked because these micro loans, it was that time 1,000 euro maybe. I said, what to do with 1,000 euro? No, they did miracles. So based on this, that's I was on the side of on that side that, and now I understand it's not about money in meaning. Even if you talk about money, but at the end or at the beginning about passion. And for me it was so positive that I saw that they change just local reality. You can touch this, yes, project by project. So I stay with this, and anything what happened then, I said always it's not about the amount, it's not about these limits.
I like that, especially coming from somebody who, through instruments like Business Max, has got the really massive guarantee operations as well. But no, it's a very good example back to that social impact, that local impact that these instruments can have. No, thank you very much. And Inga, I turn to you finally. Is there anything you're particularly proud of in your many achievements, I would say?
Two things. I like two.
You can have two things.
Today. One thing is actually, I remember the trialogue. When Lithuania, during Lithuanian presidency, I was invited in the negotiation group, and I saw how the trialogue is going on and how the negotiations are going on the regulations. It was a kind of surprise. At that moment, I was really helping the team leader to negotiate and telling him how to do that. And it was, I will tell the personal feeling, it looked like the market when you are going to bargain for the sausages or something like that, for the vegetables. And when you're giving somebody, okay, I'll give you this, and you will give me what I want. And when you see the regulation, the provisions written in the regulation which you were negotiating on, and when you read the text which you were proposing, you know, I am proud of it. Another thing, I remember the very beginning of the usage of the structural funds. At the time I was working for the Ministry of Economy in Lithuania, and the vice minister at the time believed in us. We were very young and sound like a dinosaur. We talked about dinosaurs yesterday, but
deliberately not used that word. I think I said experts, didn't I?
Okay, experts. Let's call it experts. So actually, at that time, we were using only a small amount of national money for guarantees. And we were young and brave, and we were thinking of how to expand the financial instruments. And we managed to persuade our bosses, our authorities, to allocate 80 million euros. And how it was done, actually, it was not euros. If I don't remember, it was national currency or euros, but the amount was 80 million euros. So actually, he told, "Okay, kids, this is for you to play." So what I'm proud of, that we had an initial allocation of 80 million euros at that time, and now we have billions of euros in financial instruments. This is something which I'm proud of. It took time, but now we have a result, we have an effect, we have reflows, and we have clients happy about using the financial instruments.
Oh, it's a great story. And 80 million is 80 billion. 80 billion? That's amazing. That's a great way to finish, I think, the podcast. I think we've done a nice job in maybe trying to give a flavour, at least, for people who are listening to the themes that we've been discussing over the last 2 days. We've got another day of Fee Campus to go, of course, tomorrow with our parallel sessions and everything. So look forward to that. And there's a small celebration as well tonight for our 10-year anniversary. So I'll just finish by thanking the panel, Cecilia Gyalog, Inga Beiliūnienė, Eva Petkova, and Grzegorz Orawiec. And thank you very much for giving us your time, your interesting stories and everything else. And I'll just say thank you, everybody. We have a standard way of ending our podcasts, but I haven't got my script handy, so I'm not going to be able to do it. All I will say is, yes, we look forward to tuning in to future Fee Campus Jam Sessions podcasts in the future. And thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of Fee Campus 2025. Thank you very much.